hydroponics systems has increased in recent years as crop growers have began to realize the possible benefits of non-traditional farming techniques. Although several hydroponic systems have been developed over time, this video will exclusively focus on the nutrient film technique system, or NFT for short. In NFT, a nutrient solution is mixed with water in a main reservoir. The plants are placed in sloping tubes through which the nutrients mixture is pumped and allowed to flow through. Afterwards, the mixture drains back into the main reservoir of the system. NFT allows the plants to receive nutrients and water without the use of soil, making it optimal for growing indoors. Due to growing with a nutrient solution, it is necessary to be aware of certain factors in the growing process, specifically EC, or the concentration of nutrients relative to the water, and the acidity of the solution. Both of these can affect the health of the crop in a negative way.
The original motive of this project was to figure out the most productive methods for crop growth. Recent alternative growing methods to traditional soil-based farming have revolved around hydroponics. The main objective of hydroponic systems is to reduce cost of labor and create a year-round harvesting season. The California drought from 2011 to 2017 and recent signs of a re-entering into the drought has made hydroponic systems even more sought out. Hydroponics use less water than soil-based growing because of the reduction in evaporation due to indoor growing. Traditional farming has its economic benefits, but hydroponics reduce waste and pollution from soil runoff. In our project, we use the nutrient film technique as our hydroponic growing method that optimizes oxygen as a key component of the growth process. Our project's main objectives were to see the new hydroponic systems that were recently designed and measure the effect position, pH and nutrient levels, and water flow had on the growth and health of the plants. Measuring the efficiency of the nutrient film technique gave us insight on how to improve and develop possible future outreaches or implement it into our heavily agricultural-based community. The ultimate goal was to determine if this method of raising crops is more sufficient to the traditional farming styles.
Procedures and methods. Germination. Single seedlings of Bib lettuce were placed into 90 Oasis cubes split between 2 trays, and water with a pH of 5.6 was obtained by adding 3 milliliters of acid into a 5-liter bucket of water. The trays were then filled with the water until the bottom of the cubes were fully submerged and the tops of the cubes were sprayed with the same solution of water. Afterwards, a lid was placed over both trays and wrapped in newspaper so that there was no light exposure to the seedlings. After 4 days of sitting, the plants were unwrapped and lids were taken off. The plants were then let to sit under light for another 4 days, during which they routinely had their trays refilled and tops sprayed with water. Construction of system. During this resting period, PVC piping was cut and connected to create a pump and drainage system for the hydroponics. The pump and drainage systems were routed to meet at a tub which contained 150 liters of water. The pumping system was then primed by adding water from the tub into the pump end of the PVC piping. Jack's 20-20-20 fertilizer was added to the 150 liters of water in the tub to create a concentration of 1.4 ms/cm, and acid was added to the water to make a pH level of 6.3. Transplanting. The plants were removed from trays and individually placed into cups in which they were surrounded by clay pebbles. The 57 cups were then placed in 9 rows of PVC piping, in which 3 rows were of full plants, the next 3 rows skipped 1 space in between the plants, and the next 3 rows skipped 2 spaces between the plants. Monitoring water and energy. A kilowatt unit was inserted between an outlet and the plug of the pump. This unit was also inserted between another outlet and the plug for all lights. The unit was left in for 1 week and data was collected.
Of the 57 plants which were grown in the hydroponic system, only 4 were deemed unfit for harvesting. An overall yield of 53 heads of Bib lettuce were produced over the 4-week period. Throughout the growing process, 451.55 liters of water were used, 880 milliliters of acid solution was put into the hydroponic system in order to maintain pH. In addition to the natural resources used, 11.5 kilowatts were used to run the lights for the system, and 1.7 kilowatts were used to power the water pump. The assembling of the hydroponic system included relative adjustments, which included the attachment of PVC pipes into the nutrient solution container. Safety issues included adding the hydrochloric acid to the nutrient solution in an attempt to bring down the abnormally pH levels. However, once trained and watched by Dr. Schwartz an individual was able to adjust the pH by oneself using the acid. This design was a very basic and easy to navigate setup for the group with little to no opportunities for error. A difficulty the group faced with the design is the general height to the structure itself. Climbing up and down a ladder and assessing the plants was difficult in getting proper results of each plant. An improvement could be to make it wider horizontally and reduce the height vertically to create a design that would be more functional and easier to access data.